I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Before we get to the Now Half Step in Hockey coverage first, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to our home website, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you're getting educated about the show, you can click on that merchandise tab. That's going to take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck are all still available in our online store. Whether that's socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, makes no difference to the Renegades of Puck. Something like 88 different items in our online store for you to purchase. After all, we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this operation, so here's how you can support the Renegades of Puck. You can find us on X and Threads, Instagram, and you can also find us on, TikTok. We're also right there. You can find us on a number of different platforms, so check us out on your preferred social media platform today. Give us a like and follow along. Jump in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. You can also find us on YouTube, and we're sure to appreciate all of our recent subscribers. Stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you. You can jump in the trenches right there with the Renegades of Puck by just searching Renegades of Puck on YouTube, and then give us a subscription. If you can, turn on those notification buttons, and you'll find out exactly when the latest episodes of Renegades of Puck TV, all of our different breakdown, recap segments, all of them will be available on YouTube. You can also find the audio podcast thanks to the Full Press NHL Network, the Full Press Predators podcast, numerous platforms available to you. What do you prefer? Is it Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon, or several others? We're available just about everywhere thanks to the Full Press NHL Network, from local to global in 2023 to 2024, and we are already keeping up that momentum in 2024. So again, stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you. We are quickly approaching 10 million all-time downloads, replays, and views here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. We could not do that without you watching and listening right now out there. So again, stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you out there. Venmo, that's how you can support the show. If you'd like to reward us by giving us a donation of even $1 for 10 million replays, that would be awesome. That would be a nice tip for us. Every dollar goes a long way to helping the Renegades of Puck. Scan the QR code that's currently on your screen. We are currently looking to continue building the studio that you do not see. It is mostly an HVAC system that we are building and saving up towards next. Between the cold days and then the hot days coming in the summer, we've got to be able to record out here 365 days a year in the bunker. This year, even on leap day. So, we've got to be able to do that. So we got to be able to build an HVAC system and temperature control, climate control, the whole area out here, protect the equipment, and keep ourselves in a condition where we can record each and every day, because that's what we aim to do out here with the Renegades of Puck podcast. As you know, we continue expanding the amount of content, the amount of coverage that we do, and you can do that by supporting the show financially. Go to Venmo, scan the QR code that's currently on your screen. Now listen, I know it's time for the Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. Time for operation number 872. That's right, time for show number 872, and at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division after 55 games skated. They have a record of 28, 25, and 258 points, has them 2 points behind the 4th place St. Louis Blues, and also has them 13 points behind the 3rd place Winnipeg Jets, which would be for an automatic qualifying playoff spot. Now, let's talk about the entirety of the Central Division. Let's start with the most updated standings going from the top down. It is the Dallas Stars with a record of 34-14-8, 76 points on the season. They are in first place in the Central Division. The Colorado Avalanche with 72 points on the season are in second place. The Winnipeg Jets in third place with 71 points. So the Dallas Stars getting just a little bit of separation there at the top of the Central. Then we see a drop-off after that of 11 points between third place and fourth place. The St. Louis Blues in fourth with 60 points, and the Nashville Predators with 58 points in fifth place, in Minnesota also with 58 points in sixth place. So what we have developing here is the three-team weave that is going to be competing for the Central Division title up until probably the final periods of the season. It is that close amongst that grouping and has been for some time. And then it looks like we're emerging to have a three-team wild card chase pack. The St. Louis Blues, the Nashville Predators, and the Minnesota Wild. And then the Arizona Coyotes are just kind of starting to slide out of it. Now, 8 points behind the Minnesota Wild in 7th place, and Chicago Blackhawks at 33 points are in 8th and last place, which is where they will finish the season. But it looks like we are developing 3 different groupings here in the Central Division now as we head towards the playoff race. The Nashville Predators, realistically, very much still in the wild card hunt. The wild card updated race is the LA Kings, who are absolutely red hot. The Preds will be facing off against the LA Kings soon. We'll get to that here in a second. The LA Kings in the first wild card spot with 64 points. St. Louis Blues with 60 points are in the second wild card spot. The Nashville Predators, the first team on the outside, looking in with 58. Minnesota also with 58. So the Predators 2 points out of a wild card spot thanks to their head-to-head victory over the St. Louis Blues to begin this road trip. Now, talking about this road trip, once the Nashville Predators wrap up this game in Vegas, which is the next stop, Thursday they will be in LA, Saturday in San Jose, Sunday in Anaheim, back home on the 27th of February to face off against the Ottawa Senators, and then it is a leap year. So February the 29th, we'll see a game of Bridgestone Arena, the Minnesota Wild. That will be a game of critical importance in the wild card race and in the Central Division. So the Predators have a couple of games very, very important to them in the wild card race coming up here in the next stretch of games. The Nashville Predators' next game will take place on the road. They have a record of 14-10-2 on the road. The Preds have scored 167 on the season. They've given up 179 overall. The goal differential of -12. Their next opponent is the Las Vegas Golden Knights. They have an overall record of 32-17-6. 70 points has them second overall in the Pacific Division, only behind the number 1 overall in the NHL, Vancouver Canucks. On home ice, the Knights have an incredible record, 19-7-2, 177 goals scored, 149 goals against. That's a goal differential of +28. Now, Nashville Predators and Vegas Golden Knights have met one time already this season. They will meet one more time this season after this game. So we're at the hinge point of the regular season series between these two Western Conference rivals. It was back on the 15th of January when they met for the first time. It was in Vegas, and the Golden Knights scored victory 4-1. UC Saros took the loss, going 25 out of 28. Luke Evangelista picked up the goal for the Nashville Predators. It was Thompson picking up the win for Vegas, 34 out of 35 in that game. Stone dominated for the hat-trick, 3 goals in that game. Marchessault picked up the other goal for Vegas. They'll meet one more time. It'll take place on March the 26th. It'll be Vegas's only trip to Bridgestone Arena to Nashville. Again, that will happen on March the 26th. Now, let's take a look at the most recent action for the Vegas Golden Knights before we drill down on the rankings for this particular matchup coming up late on a Tuesday night, at least late for the Central Time Zone. Let's go back to when the Knights came out of the All-Star break and start right there on February the 6th. 3-1 win versus Edmonton on the 8th of February. Is a 3-2 win at the Arizona Coyotes on the 12th of February. A 5-3 loss versus the Minnesota Wild on the 17th of February. 3-1 loss at the Carolina Hurricanes. And most recently on the 19th of February, a 4-0 win at San Jose. Thompson picks up the win, gets the shutout, 29 out of 29 in that game. So back-to-back scenario for the Vegas Golden Knights. They will travel from an afternoon game in San Jose back home to wait for the Nashville Predators. Now, the Nashville Predators should have been waiting for them for a day or two now, but we all know the story by now. The Nashville Predators had that plane turned around. They were not going to get a chance to go to the Sphere. They were not going to get a chance to go see U2. It's become a whole thing. I'll address it a little bit more later in the episode. So the Vegas Golden Knights score the 4-0 victory, jump on the plane, head back home, wait for the Nashville Predators, and then we will have this particular matchup right here in the goals for category. Vegas Golden Knights now are at 3.15 goals per game. That's 14th best in the league. The Nashville Predators at 3 goals per game is 19th overall in the NHL. Goals against Vegas Golden Knights, very, very good number right here. 2.69 given up per game is 6th overall in the National Hockey League, while the Predators are giving up 3.25 per game. That is 22nd in the National Hockey League. Shots for category, Vegas is generating 31.1 on net per game. That is 15th. And the Nashville Predators are generating 31 on net per game. That is 16th in the shots against category. 30.4 for Vegas is 20th. 30.6 is 22nd for the Nashville Predators. In the special teams metrics, it is going to be the Vegas Golden Knights favored in both of these categories. On their power play, they are converting at 19.6%. That's 20th overall in the league. 36 out of 184 opportunities. The Predators' power play is at 19.4%. They are 21st, one spot behind Vegas. 37 out of 191 opportunities. On the penalty kill, the Vegas Golden Knights are killing off 80.7%. That's That's 12th overall. 29 power play goals against on the season. The Nashville Predators penalty kill is killing off 75.4%. That's 27th rated. That has dropped considerably over the last several weeks. 43 power play goals against. That, unfortunately, has risen over the last couple of weeks. Now, when it comes to every team in the NHL, a boatload of talent on each and every roster across the NHL, but we always like to talk about at least the top 5 scorers and the potential goaltending matchup for this particular game for the Nashville Predators coming on into town. Philip Forsberg's at 26 goals and 29 assists for 55 points. The captain, Romaniossi's at 11 goals and 39 assists for 50 points. O'Reilly's at 20 goals, 27 assists for 47 points overall on the season. Nyquist, 12 and 30 for 42. And then Tommy Novak's moved into sole possession of 5th on scoring, passing Colton Sissons, 11 goals, 16 assists, 27 points. Updated statistics over on the Vegas Golden Knights side of the ledger sees Stone at 16 goals and picking up an assist against San Jose, now 37 assists, 53 points on the season. Marchessault is at 28 goals and 16 assists for 44 points. Eichel, 19 goals and 25 assists for 44 points. Carlson's now at 17 goals and 18 assists for 35 points. And Barbashev is at 13 goals and 19 assists for 32 points. Remember, Stone had 3 of his 16 goals in the season against the Nashville Predators. Marchessault has 28 goals, so he's been dominant all season, but he did have 1 of his team-leading 28 against the Nashville Predators. Luke Evangelista scoring the only goal for the Nashville Predators against Vegas this season. Anticipated goaltending matchup in net since Thompson got the start, got the shutout, 29 out of 29. To be honest with you, it was not a very heavy workload. The San Jose Sharks are not a very good hockey team, so Thompson should be resting in favor of Aiden Hill, but not 100% sure if Thompson will get the hot hand and get the chance to ride since he got the shutout. But let me give you Hill's stats as if I believe that is going to be the starter. 14, 4, and 2 on the season, 931 save percentage, 2.06 goals against average, and 2 shutouts on the season. UC Saros expected to get the starter net 21, 21, and 2, 902 save percentage, 3.02 goals against average, also 2 shutouts on the season. That's got you all set up for the Nashville Predators at the Vegas Golden Knights. It is the Nashville Predators' most difficult stop on this 5-game road trip. Next up is LA after that. That is a critically important game in the wild card playoff race. And then San Jose and Anaheim back-to-back to close out the road trip. They are winnable games. The Nashville Predators in the middle of a pivotal 5-game make-or-break road trip on the season. Next stop, Vegas. Preds need to come out of there with at least 1 point against the Golden Knights.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to February 17th, the year 2024, when the Nashville Predators were in St. Louis to face off against the Blues for the second of 3 regular season meetings. Head coach Andrew Burnett deploys his lines and defensive combinations in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Glass, Sissons, and Evangelista, Jankowski, Novak, and Trennan, Sherwood, McCarron, and Smith. By the way, McCarron, a fresh 2-year contract extension. Yossi and Fabro, McDonough, and Shen, Luzon, and Carrier defense pairings. UC Saros gets the start in net, and we are just 17 seconds into the game in St. Louis, and it's Saros coming with a save on Neighbors. His first shot on goal of the game. 125 of the first period. Saros coming with a save on Rosen, plus the rebound follow-up. Multiple shot and scoring opportunities for the St. Louis Blues here in the first 2 minutes of this game. At the 2:13 mark of the first period, it's Binnington coming with a save on Fabro, plus McCarron's follow-up. First shot on goal, first scoring opportunity for the Nashville Predators at 3:10 of the first period. UC Saros coming up with a save on Neighbors again for 10 of the first period. First goal of the game goes to Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators. His 14th of the year comes off of a partial deflection off of the defense and into the net. Nashville Predators have a 1-0 lead earlier in this game, a significant difference from their previous effort against the Dallas Stars on home ice. The 6:07 mark of the first period, it's Binnington coming up with a save on Fabro at 8:08. Binnington, a save on McDonough at the 10:10 mark, just crossing over the middle point of the first period. Saros coming with a save on Torrey Krug, and then UC Saros is going to have to go to work. It's the 11-10 mark. Saros comes with a save on Sundquist. 14-10. Saros comes with a save on Kairu's deflection. Good scoring chance there for St. Louis at 14-26. Binnington comes with a save on Glass. Our first penalty of the game comes at 14-33 when Tropichenko goes up to the box. 2 minutes for interference. The Nashville Predators' first power play opportunity would only generate one shot on goal. Binnington would stop Glass, and that would be it for the Preds. But at 17:07 of the first, it's going to be the St. Louis Blues getting their first power play opportunity of the game as Trennan's picking up a penalty. 2 minutes for boarding, and then we will see Luzon picking up a penalty as well. 2 minutes for high sticking, getting way too physical in front of the net. 5-on-3 now for the St. Louis Blues for potentially a minute and 21 seconds. We see UC Saros coming with a save on Shen, and then we see UC Saros coming with another save on Thomas, but then Kairu is going to cash in with his 19th goal of the season, giving the St. Louis Blues their first goal of the game, tying the game up at 1 apiece. It was a weak side one-timer with only 1 second left in the 5-on-3 power play, so there would be a remaining 38 seconds of the power play after that 1 second would expire. Nashville Predators would do an expert job of killing that off and getting out of the first period. Now, because of the special teams play, the Preds ended up getting outshot at the end of the first period, but overall, a much better period than they had in their previous games first period. St. Louis won, Nashville won after one. St. Louis out shooting Nashville 12-8. We get into the second period. It only took 9 seconds for the Nashville Predators to get their first shot on net. Binnington comes up with a save on Philip Forsberg at the 1:17 mark of the second period. Saros coming up with a save on Buchnevich with the middle of the mask right there between the eyes. 3:35 of the second period. Binnington, a save on Fabro at 4:50. Binnington, a save on Forsberg at 5:07. Binnington, a save on Yakov. Trennan at 6:28. Jordan Binnington comes up with a save on Cole Smith. Heavy action there in the defensive zone for the St. Louis Blues at 6:49 of the second period. Saros comes with a save on Hayes at the 7:08 mark of the second. Binnington comes up with a save on Sherwood in the 9:34. Binnington back to work again. Another save, this time on Colton Sissons right at the middle point of the game, the 10-minute mark of the second. Saros comes up with a save on Thomas at the 10:36 mark of the second period. UC Saros coming with a blocker save on Buchnevich, sliding across. One of the better saves for UC Saros in this game, and he would have to make a number of big-time saves at the 10:53 mark of the second. Saros, a save on Neighbors, 11:53. Saros, a save on Kessel. This was a huge sequence for UC Saros in this game, keeping the Nashville Predators in this one. 13:09 mark. It's Luke Evangelista picking up his 10th goal of the season. He outweights Binnington and tucks the puck to the empty net on the partial breakaway. Used the speed, used the skill, raised the leg like the flamingo, gave the fake, and faked Binnington right out of position, giving the open net to Luke Evangelista and giving the Predators a 2-1 lead in this game. What a hell of a move, a hell of a play, and a hell of a finish by Luke Evangelista. Great to see him back in the lineup. Of course, we made quite the argument for him to be back in the lineup, and that argument proved to be correct. At the 14:53 mark of the second period, with the Nashville Predators leading 2-1, Binnington coming with the save on the captain, Roman Yossi. 15:25. Saros, a save on Kessel. 16:48. Binnington, a save on Tommy Novak, and we head to the backside of the sheet, and we find it 17:16 of the second period. It is Glass who is off to the box. 2 minutes for hooking. This is going to put the St. Louis Blues on the power play, just like at the end of the first period. Preds getting themselves involved in some troubling special teams situation. Saros comes up with a big save on Krug, and then we find Shen getting called for holding, but no, it is not going to be a 5-on-3. A penalty shot, which was the right call, has been awarded to Neighbors. Absolutely, Shen pulled from behind on the breakaway, and it is going to be UC Saros coming out with a huge save on the penalty shot for Neighbors. The power play resumes just 5-on-4. Saros comes up with a save on Hayes. Preds get out of the second period, still being outshot in this game, 28-20 overall. We get the clean sheet into the third period. You know what? Action starts off a little bit slow, a little bit tight. The Nashville Predators have obviously come out with a defensive mindset, especially in the neutral zone, so it takes all the way until 3:56 of the third period before we get our first action. It's Binnington coming up with a save on Luzon. A really good scoring chance, a good low shot right here by Luzon. Almost tricked Binnington at the 4:32 mark of the third period. It's Binnington coming with a save on the captain, Roman Yossi, at the 5:38 mark of the third period. UC Saros comes up with his first save of the third period, and that would be on Walker's wrist shot at the 6:18 mark of the third period. It's Blay off the box, 2 minutes for interference, and this was a close call, but you know what? I would not have disagreed if this was a non-call. The puck was really still in the area, very much so. Not sure that I agree with the call up with the Nashville Predators on the power play. That's the fact. So we're getting back to the game right here. And we find on the Nashville Predators power play, it is Philip Forsberg getting his 26th goal of the season. You give him the time and the space, and he's going to walk it in from the top of the circle as close as he can before picking his spot and just absolutely ripping it. Nyquist, great job setting the screen. Wasn't sure if perhaps Nyquist had deflected the puck, but it looks like the puck goes in off of Binnington. It definitely changed angle on its way into the net. But Philip Forsberg's 26th goal of the season comes on the power play at a critical moment in this game and gives the Nashville Predators a 3-1 lead. Now, at the 7:51 mark, as soon as we get back to 5-on-5 play, it is Schenn getting his first goal as a Nashville Predator. First goal of the season. It was a long shot through traffic. The Nashville Predators, again, doing a very good job of causing Jordan Binnington a tough time of seeing the puck in any way. So Schenn gets his first goal of the season. It finds its way in. It goes off of Binnington and then into the net. And just like that, the Nashville Predators have a 4-1 lead here in the third period on the road in St. Louis. At the 8:19 mark of the third period, Luzon gets involved with some stuff that the Predators frankly did not need at this moment in time. 2 minutes for roughing. He was responding to a big, clean hit that took place against Alex Carey, but Alex Carey is a big boy. He picked himself back up and got right back in the play. It wasn't just Luzon. It was Sherwood. It was almost everybody on the Predators decided to go after the St. Louis Blues player. It was just not necessary. Luzon picks up a penalty 2 minutes for roughing just after the Nashville Predators go up 4-1. It is going to be Sundqvist, though, coming up with a penalty 2 minutes for interference before the end of the St. Louis power play. It's going to lead to an incredibly short power play for or 4-on-4 situation of only 2 seconds. The power play for the Nashville Predators would be after that for 1:58 seconds. Binnington would come up with a save on Yossi, and that would be the end of the Nashville Predators power play. The 12:52 mark of the third period, Walker, his 5th goal of the season, some rebound jam at the edge of the blue paint for St. Louis, gets them their 2nd goal of the game. The Predators lead 4-2 now here in the third period, and it was just Walker doing a good job getting to the front of the net and working hard, getting that rebound. 13:57 in the third. Saros a save on Kessel, plus the follow-up by Captain 14:06. Saros a save on Kessel. 16:49. Saros a save on Schenn. All incredibly difficult and tough saves at this time of the game, while the St. Louis Blues were really putting the pressure on the comeback. 18:28. O'Reilly's empty net goal is his 20th of the season. He gives the Nashville Predators a 5-2 lead. That will effectively do it. But in 19:16, we have Binnington doing something dumb because he's a dick and picking up a penalty 2 minutes for high sticking. The Nashville Predators would finish the game on the power play, but they would finish the game with a 5-2 victory. St. Louis would outshoot Nashville 37-33, and the Nashville Predators a considerably better effort. And I really appreciated the way the Predators closed out periods, going really hard up until the final buzzer, the final whistle at all times. That's the type of effort the head coach was looking for, and for the Preds, a truly necessary and needed game to get back on track in the win column. So for the Predators, great job to go on the road, go to St. Louis in what I consider to be a must-win game, pick up the 2 points, do it in pretty good fashion, coming in with the 5-2 victory. So for the Nashville Predators, finally, you could take a deep breath, at least until Tuesday in Vegas. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We got full analysis and so much more coming up next on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap. It is now time for the analysis and opinion portion of the show. UC Saros, 35 out of 37, 2 goals against. One of those came on a 5-on-3, made 8 power play saves, and he was solid all day in every way. That was a stellar performance from your starting goaltender, and a goaltender that has been a Vezina finalist before and easily could win a Vezina before the end of his career. It won't be this year, but he easily could before the end of his career. But UC Saros, stellar in this game. I thought that he was phenomenal. If you go back and you watch some of the saves that he was making, especially late in the first period, late in the second period, he was exceptional in net. And for UC Saros, a great bounce back game for him. And overall in the season, the numbers aren't exactly where anybody would like them to be, but 21 wins on the season and a stellar performance on the road in St. Louis. When I was questioning whether he should get that start or not, I think he gets the start in Vegas. Ride the momentum on this road trip. You have some other games coming up, including a back-to-back that Lankinen might be better suited for. Moving on to the next point on my list, Luke Evangelista. Back in the lineup. Never should have been out of the lineup. He comes back in. One hell of a goal. Drops the leg up like a flamingo. Fakes Binnington out of position. And then just slides the puck right into that empty net, picking up a goal. A great return for Luke Evangelista in the lineup. I thought that he looked tremendous out there. He only got 13:33 in total time on ice, but he did get some power play time at 2:05. He did get that one shot on goal, and he did block one shot in this game. So I thought Luke Evangelista had a strong return. I wanted to make a point of having him number one when it came to the skaters to discuss, put the emphasis on the fact that I thought he should have never been taken out of the lineup. Getting back in the lineup, though, Luke Evangelista looked hungry, he looked fast, and he was certainly prepared to finish. Great lift of the leg on the flamingo fake. I love it, going all the way back to Mike Gartner, Mark Messier, back to classic throwbacks when that move first started to become more prominent in the NHL. It's just awesome to see. Philip Forsberg picks up a goal and assist in this game. He had 2 points overall, 55 points on the season, back to a point per game, heating up. Phil Brueri, you would still like to see him put quite a few more goals on the board here on this road trip. I would not be surprised at all if Philip Forsberg comes back home at the end of this month at the 30-goal mark. I think he's going to pick up a couple more goals in these next couple of games between Vegas, LA, San Jose, Anaheim. I think Philip Forsberg will end up with 4 more goals on this road trip. Great to see him back on the sheet yet again. He seems to have a new attitude. He's a bit more aggressive. He's ready to get in there and muck it up and go to the hard areas. And for Philip Forsberg, he's managed to maintain health. He's managed to maintain offensive consistency. And if he continues going at this route, it will no doubt be the best season of his career offensively. Maybe not tops in goals, but I still think he has an outside shot at the 40-goal mark this season. But I think he's going to be at 30 goals at the end of this road trip, and that'll go a long way to helping that. So he is heating up at just the right time, and he always does. He's always a more impactful offensive player in the latter part of the season than he is in the first 3 quarters of the season. Everybody knows that. We've all watched him here long enough in Nashville to know that. He is heating up at the right time, the same time he always does. It's the first half of the season where Forsberg usually doesn't put up the big numbers. He's built the foundation. Now go ahead and continue building that gigantic mansion right on top of it. O'Reilly picked up a goal and assist. Going back to St. Louis in this one for 2 points. 20 goals on the season, 47 points. And you think about it, you look at it, and you see Dallas was just in town, and Matt Duchene went over 20 goals and is right up there around 50 points. Well, it's a replacement. Ryan O'Reilly is at 20 goals and 47 points, so the offensive output is comparable between the player that left and the player that was brought in to replace him. Yes, I know financially some of the money is questionable and suspect, and you would prefer it worked out a different way, but Ryan O'Reilly, that's not on him. He is probably the best signing so far for Barry Trotz in the early part of his GM career, and the 2 points in this one just puts him up to 47 on the season, so he's going to easily be over 50 points on the season in his first year as a Nashville Prairie. He's over 20 goals already, and he's just a fantastic addition to this franchise overall. And see him go back into St. Louis, and even though it was an empty netter, see him pick up that goal and get a chance to smile and celebrate. That was great for Ryan O'Reilly. I do enjoy watching the nuance and the small details of his game on a night in and night out basis. Luke Schenn, for all the shit he gets on this show and everywhere else, we are definitely going to pause and say stick taps to Luke Schenn for his first goal as a Nashville Predators. First goal on the season. It was a long shot with some good traffic, but he put it past Binnington, and he puts the puck in the net. net. And again, we complain about Luke Shen a whole lot. 5 hits in this game also, was second on the team overall, 17-32 in time on ice, 204 in shorthanded time on ice. It's probably the most positive things I've said about Luke Shen all season long, but he picked up a goal, his first ever as a Nashville Predator, his first of the season, and it came in a game that was at the most pivotal point in the season. So Luke Shen, as a longtime veteran, in front of his family, against his brother, in a division rivalry game with huge playoff implications, Luke Shen stepped up big time in this game, picking up his first goal of the season. So stick taps to Luke for that. You know what? We tear down, but we also build back up here in the trenches. And a much better start and effort leads to a win. Of course, right? When you don't get outshot 18-1 and give up 4 goals in the first period, it gives you a much better opportunity to win. The Predators, look, they weren't perfect, and they're not going to be perfect, but when they come out of the gate skating hard and they come out and they're pushing and they're working and they're playing physical and they're blocking shots and they're playing solid team defense in front of UC Saros, that allows UC Saros to have the confidence to step up and have the game. But for the Predators, playing from ahead in this one, last game, again, I don't want to keep talking about it, but that last game, down by 4 goals in the first period. This game, up 4-10 into the first period for the Nashville Predators. They played from ahead the rest of the day. The game would be tied, but the Nashville Predators would get the lead back, and then they would build on that lead, and when they needed it, their top players came through big time. Forsberg, O'Reilly with goals in this game, and Evangelista back on the ice picking up a goal in this game. So the Nashville Predators, a much better start, and it was good to see them at the end of periods. Let's say in moments of where there's no consequence, where, say, the last 7-8 seconds of a period are ticking off, the Predators were still skating hard and pressing in these moments. These are the small moments that the coaches look for. These are the small moments that you look for in analysis when you want to know where a team is going. And the Predators are trending back in a good direction. We know they can put together a solid stretch of hockey. Getting the first win on this road trip is of critical importance if they can now go on to continue having success on this road trip. We said before the trip started, 7 out of 10 points would be optimal. If they can find a way to do better, superb. If they find a way not to do as good, well, then we've got things we got to start discussing. So for the Predators, 2-2 so far, and that is good news. And it all happened because of a better start to the game and a better effort. And with a weird start time on a Saturday afternoon, that could have definitely mucked things up, but it did not. Let's hear from our great friends at Stripe Digital Solutions. Let's get into the good, cold, hard numbers known as the box score. Close this show out and send you on to watch a little more outdoor hockey up there in the Northeast.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way, from startup to full-time operation. Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. Time for the good, cold, hard numbers known as the box score. Your goal scores for the Nashville Predators. There were 5 of them in this game. 4 goals coming from the forwards, 1 goal coming from the defense. It was Luke Evangelista, Philip Forsberg, Ryan O'Reilly, and Colton Sissons all with goals from the forwards in this game. And Shen picks up his first goal of the season and first as a Nashville Predator on the assist side of things. Nobody with more than 1. Philip Forsberg did pick up an assist. Gus Nyquist also picks up an assist. O'Reilly picks up an assist, so all 3 members of the top line pick up assists in this game. Sherwood picks up an assist in his return to the lineup. Good to see him back out there as well. On the defensive side of things, the captain, Roman Josi, no stranger to picking up a point and an assist, and now that puts Roman Josi up to 50 on the season with that assist. Also picking up assists from Luzon and McDonough. Good job by the blue line for the Nashville Predators, not just playing a good defensive game and a good physical game, but also chipping in on the offense. When it comes to shots on goal, it was Yakov Trenin leading the Nashville Predators in shots on goal with 6 in this game. Dante Fabro also back in the lineup. Told you it wasn't his fault, and the team would be better with him back in the lineup. Dante Fabro with 4 shots on goal, second on the team in this game, and his 17:09 of total time on ice. Captain Romaniosi has 3 shots on goal. Phil Forsberg also has 3 shots on goal. Nobody else with more than 2. When it comes to blocked shots, not that many on the team in this game, but Alex Carrier did lead in this statistical category with 3 in the game. Luzon had 2, and then a couple of the forwards chipped in with 2. Let's just name them off. Forsberg, Sissons, and also Nyquist with 2 blocked shots each in this game. When it comes to the physical component of things, and I laugh because every time I get to the column, I look down and I'll see a 4, I'll see a 5, and I'll be like, oh, okay, that must be, and then I'll get down to Luzon, and it's an 8. This time it's an 8. The other day it was a 10. This time it's an 8. Sometimes it's a 7, a 6. It's always a lot. He is tracking and trending towards the NHL record for hits in a season, and I think there's no doubt with the consistency of level of hits that he puts up, and he's going into Vegas where they typically inflate the number of hits. Keep an eye on that. When we come out of the next game, see if they haven't inflated Miami or wherever it is that the Panthers play and Vegas. They tend to inflate the number of hits in a game dramatically. So we'll see. Luzon had 8 hits in this game. Shen had 5 hits in this game, second on the team. And it was Yakov Trenin adding 4 hits in this game. Time on ice leaders. 1944 Ryan O'Reilly. No surprise to see the veteran in St. Louis returning to where he won a Stanley Cup and leading the forwards in time on ice, also picking up a goal and assist, 2 shots on net. You know all that already. It was also 15:50 on total time on ice for Philip Forsberg and 17:25 for Colton Sissons on the defensive side of things. It was, in fact, not the captain, Roman Josi, leading the team in total time on ice for the game, but it was Ryan McDonough at 22:38. Josi shortly behind that at 22:17. Special teams time on ice leaders. And reminder, your special teams, the power play went 1 for 4 for the Nashville Predators. 309 on the power play for Nyquist, 307 for Forsberg, 305 for O'Reilly. And again, they cashed in 1 time on the power play, 350 for the captain, Roman Josi. When it comes to shorthanded time on ice on the penalty kill, 3 out of 4. Remember, the one that they did give up was a 5-on-3, and they just missed killing that one off by 2 seconds. Your penalty kill time on ice leaders, they did a hell of a job in this game on the road in St. Louis. It was 302 for Colton Sissons, 207 for Jankowski, 205 for O'Reilly, and 206 for Cole Smith. And the defenseman certainly chipped in with a shorthanded time on ice. A lot of minutes eaten up by Ryan McDonough at 436. And then you'll see Luzon at 222, Carey at 219, and Shen at 204. In net, UC Saros extraordinary in every way in this game. 35 out of 37, the 2 goals against. One of those was a 5-on-3. I'm not really going to get too damn upset about that. 946 in-game save percentage is one of the highest he's put up all season long, other than when he's had those 2 shutouts. 8 power play saves, and he was just dialed in as a machine, using all the tools of the trade. He was using his edge work, he was tracking, he was focused, and he was dynamic and athletic out there on the rink. 1 shorthanded save added to the entirety of this performance, and UC Saros easily puts up one of his top 5 performances of this entire season to earn his 21st victory. Other numbers falling out of the box score of note that I'd like to bring to your attention. I am very pleased to report to you that the Nashville Predators had a 60.4 face-off winning percentage. Moving Glass, and also, who else moved over? No, Novak moved back to center for this game. Moving Glass over to the wing, and Novak, the previous game, over to the wing, seemed to alleviate some of the pressure on the Nashville Predators' pivots, and that has allowed their face-off winning percentage to go up the last couple of games. 60.4% is a tremendous face-off winning percentage. Very happy to see that, and I know a lot of that has to do with Ryan O'Reilly and Colton Sissons, and Michael McCarron, obviously, doing well. And in case I haven't already mentioned it, congratulations to Michael McCarron on his 2-year contract extension with the Nashville Predators. Preds also had 28 hits in this game, and of course, Luzon had 8 of those 28, 17 block shots, 6 takeaways, 4 giveaways to the Preds on top of the battle in takeaways versus giveaways. That is also a positive. Enjoy when that happens in the particular statistical metrics in the box score. The good, cold, hard numbers, that's going to wrap it up. This is a good, cold, hard number, though, to add to that, to supplement, if you will. 2 of 2 points out of the road trip so far. 1 game, 2 points available. The Predators have seized those 2 points. Started better, competed better, won a game, picked up 2 points in a critical moment in the season. Now, they need to keep gaining that momentum. Vegas is a very difficult building for the Predators to play in. They've had a tough time playing there ever since the Knights came into the league. So for the Preds, keep gaining momentum. Maybe this is that one-off odd game where the Preds fight like hell and get 1 point, but it turns out to be a tremendous positive moving forward for the rest of the road trip. Again, this is, to me, the toughest stop on this road trip. LA being the second toughest stop on this road trip with the way they've been turning their momentum around lately. San Jose, Anaheim, those are winnable games. As a matter of fact, I think the Preds need to and must win those games against teams below them in the standings. But for the Preds, continue gaining momentum, and we have come to have some better understanding on something that happened after the Dallas game. We heard head coach Andrew Brunette talking about players need to focus on their jobs, focus on the game, focus on playing hockey, stop focusing on things that were distracting them off the ice, vacations, things like that. It was vague, but also directed enough to kind of understand that there was something going on. Well, it looks like it has been understood now, perhaps what one of the incidents going on. And the Nashville Predators, again, have come out after the Dallas game and secured a victory. But after that victory in St. Louis, game 1 of a 5-game road trip, instead of the Predators flying off on Saturday evening and heading on out to Vegas and spending Saturday, Sunday, Monday in Vegas before playing the Vegas Golden Knights on Tuesday, the Nashville Predators decided to take the plane and come on back to Nashville, and they'll now fly out much, much closer to game time, which will disallow anyone on the Nashville Predators from having any type of social occasions out there in Vegas. Now, listen, it is no secret Nashville's on that list, too. There are some cities across the professional sports landscapes where teams try to limit their players' exposure to that city. Vegas is obviously at the top of that list because of all of the peripheral trouble that you could find yourself in Vegas, and it doesn't take very long. Nashville is very much the same, and there are other cities on the list. But I was surprised to hear that the Nashville Predators were coming back from St. Louis to Nashville before going to Vegas later in the week to continue the road trip. Well, it turns out maybe some of the Nashville Predators players, maybe some of the staff were a little too excited about going to potentially see U2 at the Sphere out in Vegas while they had some downtime. Barry Trotz, in the most dad GM moment, said, I'm going to turn this plane around because you guys aren't doing what you need to be doing. And the head coach obviously was in total agreement with that. So we now believe that's what those comments were about the other night after the Dallas game from the head coach. And we also believe that's why the team turned the plane around after winning in St. Louis and did not continue on to Vegas. Listen, maybe it's all just coincidence, and that was always the plan to travel back to Nashville. But it sure seems like the rumor out there is the Predators wanted to go see U2 at the Sphere, and you know what? I'd like to go see that show too. Sounds pretty fun. Unfortunately, I can't get out of work right now, and that work is covering this Nashville Predators hockey team. So we'll all have to go to the Sphere sometime after June when the non-playing portion of the season finally arrives for the entirety of the league. But for the Nashville Predators players, that's a lesson in remaining focused on your job and perhaps taking advantage of the social opportunities when they arrive. But for the Nashville Predators, it sounds like no U2 for this particular Preds group at this time. Hopefully the Preds continue the momentum, though, in Vegas. That's going to do it for Operation number 871. There's outdoor hockey to watch in the Northeast. I decided to wear my Winter Classic hat out here. Well, one, because it is absolutely freezing here in Middle Tennessee, and two, to celebrate all things outdoor hockey. It's fun. I played in the U.S. Pond Hockey Championships on Lake Nokomis in Minnesota. I scored 3 goals in the tournament up there. I'm very, very proud of that. I also injured my hip tremendously badly. Got some great photos taken of me, but skated on Lake Nokomis. I played outdoors here in Nashville during All-Star Weekend when we had the smallest rink set up outside for a 3-on-3 tournament down on Broadway. And I played outside, of course, as a kid, like so many of the players playing in these games talk about and doing. And but for me, it was more of playing on a frozen marsh in New Jersey with weeds sticking up through it. It wasn't the best hockey, but I sure as hell loved getting out there and playing with my friends when I was a kid. And I love doing it still today with my Renegades of Puck. So appreciate each and every one of you. Operation 871 in the books. We'll be back in the trenches. Vegas has that weird game coming up on Monday. We'll try to slip in another preview before Tuesday night gets here, especially with the Preds having a late start. We'll give you some content to digest. Appreciate each and every one of you. I'll say it like this. I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate your time. And most importantly, I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.